For decades, Simon Cowell decided who deserved a chance. But one terrifying moment forced him to ask a question he had never asked himself. What if tomorrow never comes? For more than 20 years, Simon Cowell was the man nobody wanted to stand in front of. Contestants feared him. Singers respected him. Millions of viewers waited every week to hear what he would say next. One sentence from Simon could launch a career or end a dream before it had even begun. He wasn't known for kindness. He wasn't famous for sympathy. He became a global icon because he told people the truth, even when it hurt. His sharp criticism made him one of the most recognizable faces on television. To some, he was arrogant. To others, brutally honest. But whether people loved him or hated him, they couldn't stop watching. Behind the expensive suits, the confident smile, and the billionaire entertainment empire, Simon Cowell was hiding something few people ever imagined. Because before he became the man who judged the world, he spent years being rejected by it. And when life finally gave him everything he had ever dreamed of, it nearly took it all away. Simon Philip Cowell was born on October 7, 1959, in London, England. Unlike many entertainment legends, Simon wasn't the perfect student. School bored him. Rules frustrated him. Teachers often described him as difficult. He wasn't interested in becoming another office worker. He wanted something bigger. But he didn't yet know what that was. His father worked as an executive in the music industry, giving Simon an early glimpse into a glamorous world filled with artists, producers, and record labels. It fascinated him, not because of the celebrities, but because he saw how music could completely change someone's life. Still, fascination wasn't enough. Simon had no clear direction. He drifted through several ordinary jobs: mailroom assistant, runner, office worker. He was fired more than once. People around him questioned whether he would ever find his place. By his late 20s, Simon still hadn't achieved anything remarkable. No fame, no fortune, no success story. Just another man trying to survive. Few people could have predicted what would happen next. Determined to make his own mark, Simon launched an independent record company. He believed he understood what audiences wanted. For a while, business seemed promising. Then disaster struck. The company collapsed. Simon lost almost everything. Money disappeared. Debt piled up. He was forced to move back in with his parents. Imagine that, nearly 30 years old, living back at home, watching friends build successful careers, while your own dream crumbles around you. Many people never recover from moments like that. Simon nearly didn't. Years later, he admitted those were some of the darkest days of his life. But failure taught him something success never could. It taught him how to recognize opportunity. Simwe, 2001, a new British television program called Pop Idol debuted. The idea was simple. Unknown singers competed for a recording contract. But Simon saw something nobody else fully understood. The audience wasn't just voting for singers. They were becoming emotionally invested in ordinary people, chasing extraordinary dreams. Simon wasn't hired to be nice. He was hired to be honest. His blunt criticism shocked viewers. Contestants cried. Audiences gasped. Newspapers attacked him, but ratings exploded. Simon Cowell had become television's most unforgettable villain. Or so everyone thought, because beneath the sarcastic comments, he genuinely wanted people to succeed. He simply believed false hope was crueler than honest criticism. The American explosion soon came American Idol. Everything changed. Suddenly, Simon wasn't just famous in Britain. He became one of the biggest television personalities in America. Millions watched every episode. His one-liners became legendary. "I've heard better. That was terrible. It sounded like a karaoke disaster. People laughed. People complained. People tuned in anyway." Simon had discovered something priceless: authenticity. Even when viewers disagreed with him, they believed he meant what he said. That trust became his greatest asset. Building an empire television wasn't enough. Simon wanted control. He launched Psycho Entertainment. Then came The X Factor. Then, Britain's Got Talent. His shows didn't just create television stars, they created global superstars. Leona Lewis, One Direction, Little Mix, Susan Boyle. Each represented something Simon loved. Potential, especially when nobody else could see it. Susan Boyle remains one of the greatest examples. The audience laughed before she even opened her mouth. Within minutes, they were standing, crying, cheering. It reminded Simon why he built these shows in the first place. Talent doesn't always look the way people expect. The cost of success. By now, Simon had everything: private jets, luxury homes, business success, global recognition, billions in television revenue. But success created another problem. Work became his entire identity. He worked constantly. Meetings, auditions, television, dark contracts, travel. Sleep became optional. Friends noticed he rarely slowed down. Neither did Simon. Until life slowed him down for him, becoming a father in 2014. Simon's son, Eric, was born. For decades, Simon insisted he wasn't interested in children. Then everything changed. Fatherhood softened him. Friends noticed it immediately. The once intimidating television judge became more patient, more reflective, more emotional. Eric wasn't impressed by television ratings. He didn't care about fame. To him, Simon was simply dad. It was perhaps the first time in decades Simon had something more important than work. The accident that changed everything. Then came August 2020, a beautiful day, a new electric bike. One ride, one mistake. Simon lost control. The crash shattered his back. Doctors discovered multiple fractures. Emergency surgery lasted for hours. Metal rods were inserted into his spine. Recovery would take months, maybe longer. Suddenly, the man who had spent decades controlling every room he entered couldn't even stand. Simple movements became painful. Walking became exhausting. Independence disappeared overnight for perhaps the first time in his adult life. Simon couldn't work. He couldn't travel. He couldn't build another empire. He had no choice but to stop. And stopping forced him to think. Looking in the mirror. During recovery, Simon admitted something surprising. He had been living too fast. Success had convinced him he was invincible. The accident shattered more than bones. It shattered illusions. He changed his diet. He exercised differently. He focused on health instead of endless work. The transformation wasn't cosmetic. It was emotional. Simon later said the accident probably saved his life. Not because it happened, but because it forced him to change before something even worse could. Facing public criticism. Even after returning to television, criticism continued. Some viewers focused on his changing appearance. Others speculated endlessly about cosmetic procedures. Social media became relentless. Every photograph became another headline. Every interview became another opportunity for judgment. Ironically, the man famous for judging others had become one of the most judged celebrities in the world. Yet Simon rarely responded. He had spent decades learning an important lesson. Public opinion changes every day. Character doesn't. The legacy. Nobody expected today. Simon Cowell's influence reaches far beyond television. Thousands of performers owe their careers to opportunities created through his shows. Millions discovered artists they might never have heard otherwise. The entertainment industry itself changed. Talent competitions became global events. Audiences didn't just consume music anymore. They became part of creating it. That was Simon's greatest innovation. He transformed viewers into participants, the man. Behind the persona, people often ask whether Simon Cowell is really as harsh as he appears on television. Those who know him best usually describe someone very different: loyal, generous, protective, especially toward people he believes in. The television judge was, in many ways, a character, an exaggerated version of his own honesty. Because Simon understood something essential about entertainment. People remember emotion, whether it's joy, shock, laughter, or heartbreak. He wasn't selling criticism. He was creating unforgettable moments, what success really means. Looking back, Simon's life tells a different story than most people imagine. Yes, he became wealthy. Yes, he became famous. But the most important chapters weren't written during moments of success. They were written after failure, after debt, after rejection, after surgery, after pain, because those were the moments that changed him. The billionaire who nearly lost everything, the television judge who became a father, the workaholic forced to slow down, the man who spent decades giving strangers opportunities, only to discover life was giving him another chance too. Final reflection: Simon Cowell built an empire by deciding who deserved a future, but life eventually reminded him that no amount of success can protect anyone from uncertainty. Fame cannot prevent accidents. Money cannot stop time. Power cannot erase regret. What remains is family, purpose, and the people whose lives you helped change. Perhaps that's why Simon's story continues to resonate. Not because he was the toughest judge on television, but because behind every ruthless comment was a man who knew exactly what failure felt like. He understood rejection because he had lived it. He recognized potential because someone once failed to recognize his. And when life finally brought him to his knees, he stood up again, not as the villain television had created, but as something far more inspiring: a survivor. Because in the end, Simon Cowell's greatest success wasn't discovering stars. It was discovering that the greatest second chance was his own.